Hey folks. Okay. So I said I was gonna tell you guys when I figured out what I was gonna do for my Nanowrimo and I got bored, so I started outlining and stuff, and I have the entire story in front of me, like the plan for it, which is kinda cool. Basically, it starts out with that whole thing I had in the last video where my brothers would talk with my mom and they'd have this crazy awesome discussion and I'd just be sitting there and I wouldn't know what's going on. That's what it's going to be kicking off with. And then when she's like 9, and then it's going to shoot forward to her senior year, and there's an assembly about how accepted we all are and how we're perfect and amazing. We need to take pity on the little kid in the crappy part of town. Which, this is something I wish I had. There's a lot of things at my old church that I wish I had spoken up about. One of which was I had told people that, yeah, my parents are divorced, what of it? And one girl said, but you're so normal. And there was a sermon one time by our new youth pastor, who was one of the main reasons that I left, who said that we are very, very well off. We have the perfect life. Therefore, we should help the people in West Dallas who don't have the good life. We need to talk to the foreign exchange student, the kid that doesn't have as much, the kid that doesn't have any friends. I'm usually the kid that doesn't have any friends. I talk to the foreign exchange students just because they're cool and interesting and fun. And I just kind of wish that I had spoken up about that, so this is my chance to do it via story. And in the story, the girl's name is Acacia, and she stands up for this, and she has this really crazy, awesome speech, and she doesn't think that she's ever going to be seen again by any of these people, and she just walks out, and she doesn't realize that there are other people trailing out behind her. By trailing, I mean like the entire people are coming out of the auditorium. Excuse me. And the next day, there's some flyers that are handed out during class by one of the kids. And they say, at lunch, come and say who you are. Show people the world who you are. You're not just a number in the book. You're not just some other kid that they don't even know that's just text on a page. And show they actually have a personality. Which I kind of got this idea from, sometimes people think that people on YouTube are just text on a page. They're just another person, just another commenter. So it's kind of like that idea. And then we get to the appreciation lunch, as we're going to call it, because that's how they're getting all the teachers there, because the entire staff of the entire school is going to be there. And everyone, like most of the kids, speak up and say who they are, but we don't know who Acacia is. She doesn't speak up. And she comes home, and Robert and Max are there. Robert's home from grad school. Max is out on a holiday because he has a convention in a nearby town. And she just can't stand it. She's just no, I'm not gonna deal with this crap. And she goes in, and she grabs her guitar and goes out, which she does sometimes when she gets really ticked off. And Faye and Rayhan, this is where Acacia lives, this is where Faye is, this is where Rayhan is. No, Rayhan's down here, Faye's up here. Faye and Rayhan are guys, actually. I just don't like the names, but whatever. And they do the awkward, oh, sup, yeah, I don't really talk to you ever, but okay. They listen to her entire song. She doesn't realize that they're there yet, and they say she's amazing, she needs to play a show. And they organize a music show, which she wins. And she's like, oh, weird. I'm sorry, I'm so thirsty right now. I need to get some water after this. She wins and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually worth something. I addressed that in the last video as well. And then she's going through the whole senioritis. I don't know what I'm doing. And then she ends up giving a speech at graduation, even though she's not like the class president or anything. And it's awesome. And then one of the sweetest scenes that I hope is going to be there's a senior graduation party where there is a giant speech that everyone compiles together. Everyone says one little tidbit, and then they do a song for her, and they tell her how much they've changed her life, and it's just really touching to her. And then she goes through the summer, and then they go to a right before they leave for college party, and and she shows them. And she just tells them, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to live without you as an example? And she just helps them out, and it's sweet. And then they all go off to college, and that's how it ends. So it's not really much of an ending, but I like it. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to get some water, because I'm done.